First and foremost, we give all praise to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Makakadash.
the ones that are apostle, great millstone, and shalom to all the brothers on the highways and byways doing the works of sin and faithfully. Alright, this is a pre-Passover sit-down, GMS Boston. As all brothers are doing with all, great millstone with this, we spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We want to say the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for giving us the head apostles, man, that set us up, that taught us, that continue to teach us and feed us and watch over us, man. We're coming down some real crucial times right now, okay? And to have head men set up such as they are, you can't go wrong, man. You can't go wrong. So we say the water to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for that. And also, we want to thank the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for giving us the ability, as we said earlier, to see these things that we're seeing and to be a part of this thing that we're doing, man. Okay? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. There have been many men for many years, hundreds of years, that have desired to see and hear these things. Get that, Matthew.
I got that right here.
Go ahead, brother.
Matthew 13, verse 16.
Go ahead.
But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily, I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
Right. So when we hear about, these pestilence, we hear about the uproars of the people, we hear about the earthquakes, we're seeing the chariots zoom throughout the skies, man. We're living in some very beautiful time. And it's especially beautiful for the hopeful elect, from the head apostles on down. Why? Because we've been prophesying the very same things that the scriptures have said, man. The very same things the scriptures told us about, we now prophesy about it.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, brother.
He says, Deuteronomy 28, verse 16. Moreover, he'll bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law.
So America's gonna get hit real bad, man. Outside of the thermonuclear missile destroying this place, the Lord's gonna do a number on America. Because it says what? The Lord said he's going to smite Egypt as he did before. You got that? Read that.
Ezra 15, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Go ahead.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before.
Right, smite Egypt with plagues as before. So what we see in this coronavirus, this is just the tip of the iceberg, man. This is something this is child's play. Because the Lord said he got righteous indignation for this place known as America. Okay? And when the Lord smote Egypt, he hit Egypt with all kinds of plagues, man. Right after another, one after another. And it was told Pharaoh. Okay? Now we're sitting there telling America, we're telling the whole world that America's going to be destroyed with thermonuclear destruction. And who else better not to set up than the head apostles and the men under them, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, to tell it, man. We all speak the same thing. We're all on one accord. We're not indulging ourselves with mockery or teachings that are not profitable, as some men have been doing these last days. You should be on the grind right now. As the scripture says, seek out the Lord 10 times more. You should be on the grind, looking for mercy. Because at the end of the day, we're all striving for that one penny, right? We're all striving for that one penny. But real quick, we're going back to this right here. The Lord's going to tear America up, man. We've been telling you and telling you and telling you. And it's just a matter of time. And as these prophecies start to unfold one by one, stock market's starting to go down. People are starting to get anxious. People are starting to get restless. People are being put in fear. Okay? You can't even go to the local supermarket and buy a little thing of hand sanitizer because they all sold out. People are losing their minds right now. And we of the hope for the elect, we understand these things are going to be taking place, man. So the Lord put the calm spirit on us. We know what's going on. We're watching. We're seeking out the ways of the Lord as he told us how to seek them out. Go ahead, brother.
This is Isaiah 55 and 6. And it says, seek ye the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near.
Right. Not too many of the people are seeking the Lord, because they're not calling upon that name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I don't. Can I get this? Come right down. Go ahead, brother. If anybody wants to speak up, man, speak up.
But Isaiah 65 and 12, It says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall bow for vexation of spirit.
Right, the Lord is no respecter of person. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, so all you 2/3 Jakes, we've been out there on the highways and byways for years, you know what I'm saying? Along with the elder apostles before us, man, we've been telling you, man, this day was fastly approaching. All y'all about buffoonery and coonery, all right? Time's up, man. All right, your clock's about to get punched, man.
That's right.
All right, it's quitting time in the land of Idumea, man. Right. For all your foolishness, it's over, man.
Right. And what you're gonna see is a type of a change in temperament, right? So you're gonna have the people on one end go from this calm, everything is copacetic,
right?
Everything is as it is, and how we've always kind of been on edge, but now that's gonna change. You're gonna see calmness in the men of the Lord, and chaos, and a more hyper temperament, because there's going to be this level of unsure, right? This level of I don't know what's going to happen next.
Right.
So what's going to happen is people, their whole temperament is going to change, and we're going to be calm. And even if you're not the type of person to be at work telling them, the gloom and doom stories, they're still gonna look at your temperament and go, why you ain't worried? Why are you so unbothered? Right? And it's because we got the Spirit of the Lord on us, man. These are the types of things that we've been waiting for.
Just back to that. I say it also like
real quick, just to add on, it's also easy in the time of peace, or in the time of when everything's good, to consider things that will befall later on. So all those people out there that when things were good were thinking, that nothing could happen, because things as it was didn't seem like it. Those are the type of people that are gonna be really, really having the worst of times. All types of people talk about doomsday prepping. They talk about all of this, and instead, they don't want to hear prophecy, man. And those are the same people coming back. Right again, man, back in the ancient times when all the prophets used to go through the cities and warn them, and nobody took warning, and instead they'll either kill the prophet, or they'll scorn up the prophets, and even you have false prophets within Israel as well, also that are leading the people in a different way, not teaching according to prophecy, man, but through the great millstone, starting with the head apostles on down. Now the evidence is being shown.
Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33. And when this come to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
Right. And when all these things, now this is just, we're starting to see about the coronavirus, but then they're going to implement the mandatory chipping of everybody. Then everybody's just going to, now it's going to be determined who really was really about the Lord. When the chip gets mandated, and everybody either, if you don't get this chip, you don't eat, then it's going to be seen who are the real strong of head. All right? Because like I said, everything is damn dog easy when nothing's going on. It's in the time of hardship that things or men are made, man.
Say this like the other always say, man. When the rubber meets the road, then we're gonna see what type of man I need to be. The scripture says, then you should know who am I chosen.
Just a second, Ezra chapter 16, verse 70. For there should be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They should be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. Hear, O my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble at hand.
Right, because we have this atmosphere in Israel where we all jostling for position. What I mean by that is one camp is saying they got the truth, one camp over here saying they got the truth. But when like the elder Dom always says, when the rubber meets the road, right? When everything counts, are you still gonna have that same mindset? Are you still gonna have the same demeanor, right? Because it's easy to be a man of the Lord when ain't nothing going on. There's no friction, right? When there's no friction, when there's no resistance, it's easy to be a man of the Lord. But are you still gonna maintain that same mentality when things get hard, right? So you got brothers that go through these hardships, right, in their everyday life. Their wife getting on them, bills piling up, cars breaking down, kids acting up, right? All of these different things that you experience and that you endure in the truth is all meant for that moment, that one moment, that hour of temptation, if you will, and it all comes to a head, and you have to say, you know what, I don't care what happens to me, I don't care what happens to my wife, my mother, my father, my children. I don't care what happens to any of them. I want to make it. And if my life being taken is what I have to do, then that's what I have to do. You know what I mean? Will you still maintain that same integrity when it comes down to some trouble? When you in line, I always say this: when you in line and you next up for the guillotine. You know, when you in line, you next up should be putting the hot pan. You know, are you still going to be in that same mindset, that same frame of mind?
Well, let me jump on that.
Yeah.
Let me jump. Give me Matthew 26 and 69. Okay, because this is going to go right along with what the elder was just talking about. Are you going to have that same mindset? Are you going to hold fast for this word that you've always spoke about? Go ahead.
That's right. Matthew 26, verse 69, and it reads, Now Peter sat without in the palace.
Now Peter sat without the palace. Go ahead.
The damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Yahushua of Galilee.
Go ahead.
But he denied before them all.
You see that? Are you going to be able to sit there and hold fast and to what you truly believe, to what you have been speaking? Because right now, everything's quiet right now. There's nothing going down. There's nobody banging down your door. There's nobody, sitting outside your camp with military, weaponry. So all these things that we speak about, are you going to be man enough to speak that when that M60's, pointing down the square at your forehead? Okay, these things were written for our learning. Now we're going to read what Peter did. Because Peter was what? Peter was fervent in the Lord. Peter said, Lord, I will never deny thee. Lord, I'll do that. Lord, now, as we say, now the rubber's meeting the road for Peter right here. Okay? Go ahead, read.
But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was gone out in the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, this fellow was also Yahushua of Nazareth.
Because we're going to have bounties on our head, man. There's going to be people looking for us. Okay? Scripture just said there was another maid that was out that recognized Peter with being with Yahushua. Okay? These individuals, especially when it comes to the men of Great Millstone, these individuals are going to be gunning for us. Why? Because they're going to try to save their own ass by pointing out who the real men are.
Yeah.
You see? These people are going to be gunning for us, man. And this is why the Lord told Peter when the cock crowed. Peter didn't believe it. Read on.
And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the men. And after a while came unto him they that stood by and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech betrayed thee.
Betrayed thee.
Betrayed thee, yeah. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know that the man, and immediately the cock crew. Mm-hmm. And Peter remembered the word of Yahushua, which said unto him, Before the cock crew, thou shalt deny me twice. Mm-hmm. And he without, thrice, and without, and wept bitterly.
Yeah, let me read up above, so just to show the mindset he was in before. So this is Matthew 26 and 31. It says, Then saith Yahushua unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended.
And Peter said this, why? Because everything was all good, man. It was all good. So right now, as we sit here, we're on the highways and byways, things are all good. Because we really haven't been tested, man. We really haven't hazarded our lives or put our lives in danger yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says, this is verse 34. Yahushua said unto him, verily I say unto thee, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. Verse 35, it says, Peter said unto him, though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. Then cometh Yahushua with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. So, the brother, we reading down below that, the mindset that he was in, he was, I don't know him. I don't know the man.
Right.
But before that, or just maybe a couple of hours before,
Right.
He was gung-ho.
as he was gung ho, but his mindset changed when the fire came. And this is not to get on Peter. This is not to pick on Peter, but this was given for an example.
Right.
What are you gonna do when the fire is on you, man? Right. What are you gonna do?
Right, and Peter was the head of
That's
the
right.
church.
That's right.
So the Lord made the head of the church commit such an act, right, to tell you that at the end of the day, we ain't nobody, man. We gotta humble ourselves down, and say, Lord willing, we make the cut.
That's right. Ecclesiastes 2:1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
Right. And then also within the story, which I want to do a show on tonight, but in the story, it gives you how the temperament of the Lord Yahushua and what he was feeling, right? What he was going through that night, right? He said, behold, my soul is heavy, right? And he was in this mindset of, yo, I'm about to die. Right. Imagine that. Right. Because the scriptures tell us that he was tempted as all men are tempted, but without sin, right? Which means there was times where he was scared, which means there was times where he was mad, which means there was times where he was worried, which means there was times where he was in stress, right? The scriptures talk about how he sweat beads of blood, right? When you look that up, it's a disease that you get from massive amounts of stress, right? So you think of this temperament, right? And for us in this time, in this day, to celebrate this day in a jovial way, right? To celebrate this day in like being happy and jumping around and all that, being in mirth,
Being festive.
It's festive, right? This is as we say in the world, it's like you're spitting on the grave of the Lord. Like you don't honor any of those things. Imagine your friend, if you're a real friend, right? And your friend is going through something, and he's telling you like, yeah, man, I don't know if this is gonna I'll be able to do this. I'm gonna do it, brother. And you on the phone, all right, well, let me call you back, man. Yeah, I'm up in with these hoes. Imagine that. Imagine that. What kind of friend would you think that person is if they took that standpoint and was like, you going through the wrong. That shit don't shit
Right.
me.
That's like when Yahushua told the disciples, hold fast here. We went under the crane. He came back, they were all sleeping.
Right.
Like, y'all couldn't just,
hold me down for a minute, man. Put me down, man.
Right.
He was looking for moral support, just like we look for moral support. And when you celebrate this day in mirth, man, you are dishonoring not only the Passover, but the Lord Yahushua who put his life on the line for you to be able to have a chance to make it, man. You spitting on the grave of the Lord, man.
Defiling it.
Right, defiling the Passover. This man wasn't happy. This man wasn't doing well in his life, and it's a damn shame that we have to talk about this every year around the Passover. Why do we have to continue to just have a little bit of reverence for the Lord Yahushua, man?
Correct.
Have a little bit of respect for what we're doing, man.
Right.
Be mindful of the image that you put out in the world, man. That means something. How you carry yourself and how you're perceived is it means something. You may not think it means something, but it means something, man. And you partying. What are the scriptures talk about? And the elder always stresses this about being blameless, right? And the people outside, they're not going to take us seriously if we're not taking it seriously, right? You know what I mean? And this is why me personally, I'm always careful about what I say to my wife in regards to the truth, because she gonna look like let's say I slip up, she go, oh, I thought you said, you know what? And now not me, I'm not tarnished. The truth becomes tarnished, right? So the people outside, they see you partying and all of this, and then they can easily go into the scriptures and see, oh, there's supposed to be a Solomon sin. And now they don't take it serious. The truth is tarnished. How you carry yourself in the world is important, and it matters, man. Right. It matters. And if you think it doesn't, something's wrong with you, man. Something's wrong with you. You shouldn't have to say this every year.
Got a quick precept back you up. Ecclesiastes 7, verse 2 and 4. It is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting.
Right. And if I don't know if you brothers ever experienced this, I'm sure you have. Like, let's say you on a fast, right? And you just low, man. There's something about not eating that gets you in a different state of mind. Even if maybe you're not on a fast, you're just in that temperament. I feel better in that temperament than I do when I'm happy and I'm playing around. I got the kids, bouncing the kids up and down, or I'm at work telling jokes or what have you. Those days where I'm in those somber moments feel more comfortable to me than happiness, man. And that's a fact. Right. And you're thinking about the right things when you're in that mindset. You're thinking about the scriptures. You're thinking about the brothers. You worry. Oh, that brother said he didn't feel good. Let me call him and see how he's doing. You're thinking about all the right things when you're in a mindset of mourning. We've almost been taught in a counterintuitive way. You think that happiness is what you should be always in, right? Oh, you should be happy all the time, but just think about the things that you think about when you're in that sorrowful state, right? When you're in that repentive state.
Right. That's what a fast is, to afflict the body.
Right.
You're actually afflicting your body, and once your body starts getting afflicted, you don't know. Even when you're sick, man, you get a real common cold. You're sitting like, oh, fuck, you know. Yeah. But when you start fasting, you afflict your body, and the longer you fast, the heavier the affliction that comes upon you. Yeah. You know. And this is a commandment that we were to do
while he wasn't here.
That's right. While he wasn't here. Yeah.
Hey, if I may add also, happiness, like backing up the elder, makes you forget about the sorrows. Doing the right things, because what do most Americans do? Most Americans, they say, happiness is the way of life. And they try to bring that happiness with all kinds of drugs and stuff. And the reason why they do that is so they can get their head out of the problem. That's the reason why these Americans like to take all kinds of drugs and all kinds of opioids. Alcohol. Right, because alcohol, they induce alcohol. Alcoholics, same thing with alcoholics. The reason why they do it is because they don't want to take that affliction. They want to forget about the sorrows and forget about the reality, and all they want to do is be happy in a joyful, lollygagging state. And that's what the scriptures say, folly set in great dignity here in America. Most Americans are in the predicament that they're in because they believe that being happy is the way to go. Happy is the way to be.
Now we're not saying sit around and be depressed.
Right.
This is a joyful time already.
Right.
This is because we're coming upon the time of our salvation. So we're not saying sit around waiting for the day to pass you by, right? But be as the scripture said, be in a penitent spirit, and be in a sorrowful spirit. Always have balance. But be in the spirit of him. And, every once in a while, read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You got to read what the Lord Yahushua endured in order for us to be able to have salvation.
I got a quick. Hold on, this brother go right here real quick. Get him holding it for a minute.
This is Zephaniah 3:17. It says, "The Lord thy power in the midst of thee is mighty, and he will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love, he will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly.
Because this is what this thing is about. When we hold the Passover, and it's so beautiful. We was talking, Elder was going into it. It's not just what we're doing, but you know, it's a beautiful thing to know that all around the world, you got sincere brothers that are sincerely throwing up the curses precisely at the same time, cursing this place, throwing up the blessings, blessing one another. And this is something that we had to have done in the ancient world so that these plagues could pass us by. And likewise today, we're in the belly of the beast. This is Babylon. And as these plagues are just whizzing this place by, we pray with the hopes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua having these plagues skip over us. Not just the coronavirus, but the sword, the chip, all the famine, all these things. And spiritually, it's a lot of things that's going on here. Spiritually, we're circling Egypt again. And you see what happened in the first time where the Heavenly Father had to have us walk around the Holy Land. But what are we doing? What is the Heavenly Father doing? He's preparing us, all right, to go into the kingdom, all right? But before we go in there, we had to walk around in the wilderness, and he had to kill off some guys. He had to get rid of some guys. And then when we finally got into our homeland, what did he have us do? He had to circle the walls of Jericho. So right now, today, spiritually, we're circling the walls of Jericho until this place falls. And then when this place falls, we go into our homeland. So this is what this thing is about. But it mentioned, I stopped them at a solemn. Somebody could look up that definition of solemn. It said a solemn. Read that again, brother. And then somebody look up the
Zephaniah 3 and 18.
Yep.
I will gather them that are sorrowful for a solemn assembly.
Yeah, you're gonna gather them that are sorrowful for a solemn assembly. So you get to reflecting on what the Lord did. Last night, it was the night that Yahushua was betrayed, you know, and then we go into the Passover. Once you get to reflecting on what this thing really is about and what we're going through and what we're about to go through, it's a serious matter. It's not a time to invite everybody in. It's not a time to make merchandise of the Lord, to have charge people to come in. Or ISUPK was damn near had a dating site at the Passover. You know, come to the Passover and get your man, get a man of the Lord. But this is a serious thing. We sincerely, it says it. We look up that word solemn. That's what somebody get that because it's sincerity.
Right, solemn, formal and dignified, not cheerful or smiling.
You see?
Serious.
You see, not cheerful or smiling. And my cousin, he's with IUIC, and me and a couple of brothers was kind of talking to him, trying to get him to see the light, so to speak. And he talked about the Passover. He said, "Yo, I went to the Passover. It was like Disneyland." But the scriptures say it's like
yeah, let me say something real quick, brother. Did it say a solemn assembly?
Yeah.
Now let me get assembly real quick for you, brother.
Yep.
It says a group of people gathered together in one place for a common purpose. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to elaborate how these other guys are inviting all kinds of people, you know, so that term solemn assembly, it holds a lot of water, man. It holds a lot of weight because you can't have men who don't believe in your solemn assembly. You can't.
Like the Lord said, He said, basically, roughly paraphrasing, like, don't eat of this, don't drink of this cup, or eat of this bread if it's unwillingly. So even today, there are problems that we have that leaven, so to speak, spiritual leaven that we got to get rid of. You know, every brother has a different flaw or certain aspect that Satan attacks, where this is the perfect time for you to pray and meditate on that, to leave that alone. And then when you finally get some years underneath your belt in the truth, this thing is about what? It's about growing. So every year you can kind of say, I worked on this, or I need to work on that, and you constantly grow. And this is how you get strength. You strengthen yourself in this truth, which ultimately is you want to make your feet as pillars so that you're not easily knocked off of your pivot. But when you, what the elder's saying, when you hold the Passover with guys like Sarnetta and invite your cousin, you know, you birds of a feather flock together. You don't want those demons inside and even around you during this time. It's a serious thing.
And look, say this. That's why the scripture says, "How can two come together unless they be agreed?" You know, he said, "Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers." You know.
Right. So this thing of ours is to be quadash, which is to be separate, totally separate from anything else. You know, the Lord's Passover was intimate. He did it with the 12 because it was intimate. You know.
This is verse 18 again.
And to that point, right? There were 70 other disciples that weren't there.
Right.
They weren't there. You know, so that just goes to show you, like, not to say that they weren't in the truth, right? Not to say that they weren't following the Lord Yahushua, but the Lord said no. He would be 12.
Right.
You know, it's going to be an intimate assembly, like you said.
Wait a minute, brother. Since they weren't there, then they weren't in the truth.
Right.
According to some, because they weren't disciples that were with the Lord. You see how crazy this is, man? You see how crazy this is? But let these men invite you to the Passover. They're gonna extort you for your money first and foremost, and then gonna give you some lamb and tell you anybody can say whatever you want, do whatever you want, man. Go ahead, brother.
Oh no, that's right. Go ahead, what's your goal?
Definition?
Yeah, and just read some synonyms so it could get beat into the head of, anybody on the fence.
Formal and dignified.
Mm-hmm.
Serious.
Mm-hmm.
Formal, somber, grave, stern, humorless, thoughtful, contemplative.
Hey, thoughtful, right? What are the things you're supposed to be thinking about, man? Like I remember one day I was at work and I was reading the Matthew, and I got to the part where the Lord was, had to carry his cross up, and I broke down, man. You reading that, you're like, damn, there's a feeling of here it is, right? You see that scripture where it says, scarcely will one die for a righteous man. I forget where that's at. I want to say it's in Peter, but just bear with me for a second to look for it real quick. The point I'm making is this dude, it's a lot. The Lord died for
Romans 5:7.
Is it Romans 5:7?
You got it right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Romans 5 verse 7.
Yeah.
For scarcely for a righteous man.
Can you jump up to 5 and let me hear it?
So I can just read it.
Oh, so good.
So Romans 5 and 5.
Yeah.
And hope and maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us.
Right.
For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Yahushua died for the
right. So when we were without strength, meaning when we were in our wickedness, the Lord Yahushua died for us, man. We didn't do anything to deserve it. We didn't do anything to earn it, right? We were in a wicked state, and even still today are in this wicked state, and this man died for you, right? Keep going.
Verse 7, for scarcely for a righteous man will one die,
right?
Yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die.
Right.
Or continue.
Yeah, keep going.
And the Most High commended his love towards us.
Commended.
Yep. But the Most High commended his love towards us, in that while ye were yet sinners, Yahushua died for us.
While you were a sinner. So when the brother reads the definition, and it says thoughtful, you got to think about that, man. You got to think about that. You are in debt, right? And now think about that, right? When you got bills on the countertop, don't you think about that? when you got bills sitting on that countertop, and you got they all open, and you got to set them up a certain way because you know that you got to pay this one this month.
You walk by, you're like,
yeah. So you think about that, and that gets heavy on you, right? You thinking, damn, I'm gonna pay this back. You should have that same feeling, even 10 times more amplified for the debt you owe to the Lord Yahushua.
Right.
To the debt you owe to the Lord Yahushua, you should have that same. Damn, I borrowed this money. You know that damn, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this. That's that feeling. You should have that feeling for the Lord Yahushua because He died for you and you didn't deserve it, man. You didn't deserve it. Like Esau, he'll give you a loan if you got good credit. So Lord Yahushua gave you a loan, you ain't have good credit. You ain't have good credit. Esau even give you a loan if you got good credit, right? And so the Lord, He gave you a loan when He didn't even ask you for your credit report. He didn't ask you for your payment history, your proof of income. He died for you, and you owe that debt. And a lot of people don't feel that feeling, man. That feeling of owing debt. They don't feel that feeling. Like when I looked, there was a video of Yohana. He was inviting people to the Passover. We got this venue, and they can fit all of Israel in there. And I command all the camps. I don't look at that man and see a man who was repentant, man.
Right.
But when I see the humility of the elder apostles, and this is not me jerking nobody's chain, man. I've been in the apostles' homes. I've been with them in their everyday lives. I know the humility that they have. I know it. I seen it with my own two eyes. So I'm not jerking nobody's chain. When I look at them, I see men who are serious about this thing, man. And when I'm around them, they make me want to do something more than what I'm doing, man. I don't feel that feeling when I see that nigga. And you know what? And forgive me for speaking like that, but I don't get that feeling with that guy, man.
See,
You got people. I'm sorry.
Good,
You got people in the truth that don't take this thing seriously, man. They don't take it seriously. This is something where Jake had an opportunity to be the guy and stand up and be lording over people and point over here, hey, you do this and you do that. This was Jake's opportunity to make themselves feel good about themselves, but they didn't take it serious. They didn't understand it. They didn't count the cost.
Let me say this, Elder. The difference between General Yohanan, Daniel 7, and the head apostles, as the Lord said, you got men that lay up treasures on earth. Then you got men that lay up treasures in heaven, in the spiritual realm. The head apostles lay up treasures in the spiritual realm. And the elders he's right on the money, man. We broke bread with the head apostles, and it's not supposed to brag, man. It's not supposed to brag, you know, because we barely communicate, you know. But the things that we've been taught, and the things that we've learned, and the things that we see, let me tell you something, man. For them men to be as humble and to be as low estate as they are, you know, yes, it's almost that time. To be in that low state that they're in, man, let me tell you something. That was right on point, man. You ain't gonna follow a man, and whoever follows those men, they're what? The scriptures say, can two walk together except they be agreed? Because they're all after that man. They're all after that man. We ain't worried about that. What time we got?
36 minutes.
36.
It's about
5:55.
All right, we're gonna end it with John 15 and 15. Is that all right? We're gonna end it with John 15 and 15. Okay. You know, because we're doing this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Okay? You ain't getting to Yahweh except through Yahweh Shai. Okay? So anything that you do on this earth, you got to do to please Yahweh Shai, man. And he can go make a report back to his father what these men are doing and how well these men are holding fast. Go ahead, read that.
This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 15. Henceforth I call you not servants, for servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I call you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you.
Right, the Lord said he calls us friends for all things that he made known unto his Father, he's made known unto us. Okay? So that being said, we look at Yahweh Shai as that mighty big brother. And he called us his friends. You know? Because why? We're being sincere and we're being diligent. You know, when you see us on this camera, we're the same way off camera. Just like the head apostles. When you see them on camera, they're the same way. When you see them on camera, they're the same way off camera. There ain't no games and gimmicks. I mean, there was some brothers, a few years back, you know, there was a turn up, I guess they call it. It was a turn up. What was that?
Late night or something?
Some shit they did. It was all jumping around and, you know, that's that shit right there.
Guys end up getting put out the can too, man.
Yeah. They get put out a great millstone.
Yeah.
You see? Because you can't play both sides of the tracks in this thing, man. How you see us on camera is how we are in our real life, man. Humble, sincere, you know, charitable, brotherly. Every one of us in this place, man. And it extends out to all the brothers through our great millstone. Why? Because we learned under men who were set up by Yahweh Shai himself, man. He who have ears to hear, let him hear. But anybody else in closing?
Yeah, if I can, just last one. 1 Corinthians 5:8 says, therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Right. So, pretty much, you know, you're not going to do the same things you were doing right before you came into truth. You know, that's a worldly thing for somebody to, Jake is always looking for a way to have a party and throw a party and do all kind of this, you know?
If I can say this really quick, the LDR Shawamba said this, he said, we don't need to promote partying in Israel.
Right.
We already mastered that.
Right.
Jake already mastered how to party.
Right.
We gotta master how to serve Yahweh.
I was going back to Josiah.
And then
Josiah
and then you look at Jake, really, there's nothing to celebrate. When you look at if you're Israelite, so-called conscious, or you're just even thinking, you look at the nation of our people, and there's nothing to celebrate. That's our problem. Jake wanted to celebrate everything. We have nothing to celebrate. Esau was celebrating 4th of July because it was an accomplishment that he did to free his people. So now he could do whatever the hell he wanted to do. There are Moabites that are celebrating certain different things because they were celebrating. These people were celebrating certain accomplishments that their people did, and that's what one of the first scriptures we brought out was, "I was going to be no longer be said, the Lord liveth that delivereth the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt." So during this second coming of our Lord, it's going to be a day of a festival is going to be thrown. The day that we get delivered will forever be a holiday, a day that we remember. But we're going to have something to celebrate. You know? What is it? Either could pretend like he's going to celebrate the Passover or be festive during that day in the kingdom, but it wasn't them that got delivered. It wasn't for them. You know, you see Jake go all out, popping firecrackers and shooting guns on the 4th of July, but they celebrate their own demise.
Right. You see G-Man and all these other guys, you know, you ain't supposed to have any leaven for 7 days. Them niggas gonna go right back eating bread, pizza sticks, whatever you want to call it.
You know? And what's even worse is the leaven that they have, speaking about the spiritual wickedness. Because you can eat that all day long, or you can not. It can be vice versa. But as long as you got that wickedness inside you, it's pointless.
Right. And last thing real quick, and also just real quick, a person that's in a marathon doesn't celebrate until he crosses the finish line. You know, so because you could give out right at the end.
Like the rabbit, was it the rabbit in the head?
Yeah,
the nigga went to sleep.
The tortoise beat him. The tortoise beat him. So yeah, man, the celebration is gonna be in the kingdom. You know, the Lord said, I'm gonna drink of you of the fruit of the vine when we get set up. You know, because he's gonna be in a different spirit.
We all gonna be festive. What did Paul say? He said, I finished my race.
Yeah, close it out, brother.
Yeah, finish this race.
That time.
Yeah, come. Hey, so with that, man, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash.
All honor to the elders, the apostles, the GMS, the great most on the world, and peace, love, and salutation to all you brothers. Hope you brothers have a happy Passover. Shalom.
Shalom.